500, the Nasdaq 100. Now, we're going to keep this pretty short to the point. The biggest things we were looking for today was some volume to indicate a direction. Now, today we can look at our volume, get a quick refresh. Yahoo Finance, best, easiest way to look at this. You came around 52 million. Again, I'm not going to be unbiased when I'm looking at the chart or any of the data. Pretty lackluster. Your like 30-day average on volume is around 70 million, so you're still coming in well below that. You have after hours, but maybe you get to 55 million on the S&P. So I do want to like highlight the importance of that. You know, what did we say beginning of this week though? We didn't expect much on a breakout. It being a shorter week, it was a half day Monday, Tuesday we were completely off. It's going to be a shorter week. We expected less volatility. We expected no real sign of continuation. Now we did get our Fed minutes today, and I will give you a few bullets behind that. The biggest things going into that were the amount. So the way we painted Fed minutes, or the way the Fed painted Fed minutes to me, and how Powell talked about it, was that it was kind of a close call on pausing rates this past meeting, and then going into that as well, it was more of we're going to play it by ear moving forward, but everyone thinks we're still at least going to have one more rate hike. So when we come into the rate decision that happened this past, week, or the past, this past month, it was very much on the side of them pausing, not knowing when they're going to raise again, but saying that it could be in the pipeline with the rate in which core inflation is dropping, because it's dropping so slow. I think they estimate that it's going to stagnate down the line, and that, one more push on rate hikes might give that assist to continue to get core inflation to drop. That's my interpretation. But from this Fed minutes, there was nothing really bad said. There was nothing new also said, which is something that I was kind of hesitant going into this meeting about, was the possibility of something new being said, and then also the possibility of, more hawkishness or even more hawkish tone that we weren't really aware about. So that's good news in my opinion, that the Fed minutes weren't really that bad. It was just stuff we already knew, and it usually is, right? But sometimes when things are bad, they don't portray them as bad as they could have been. So that is worth mentioning. So when we look at the charts, it's important we look at Nasdaq and look at where we're at. Now you can go to something like the 4-hour. I prefer the daily in most cases here, and you still look great. You're still clearly pushing back up. You look fantastic here. Okay, you're pushing back into previous highs you had on June 16th. You don't look bad. Okay. At all. That was Truth throwing his dish violently into the sink as well. That was very aggressive. That dish is probably broken. And then ES as well, pushing back into those highs, even more so, making a new local high on the 30th, and then obviously into today, pushing back up as well. In my opinion, the cup and handle is still kind of playing out here. You go to something like the daily, I think it's a little bit more visual to see here. You look really good, especially when you go into something like the SPY. In my opinion, the cup and handle is a lot easier to kind of see playing out here. Still looks really good. Very optimistic about that playing out. Dow is something that definitely took a little bit more of the blunt end of the stick here. But what I will say is Dow still looks good going forward. In particular, we look at some of the data that will be coming out this week. ISM manufacturing, etc., I believe is tomorrow. So that will also be very interesting, and that will definitely affect what's happening with the Dow as well. Before we go any further, I have to ask you to consider doing two things: liking and subscribing. Every day I make videos for you, so you are prepared. If you want to see our other channels as well, you just come to our main page, go to channels, and you can see our personal channels where we do more education on how we trade. Check that out there. If you're interested, the Discord link is down below. But again, I always recommend this for people that are interested in getting involved in trading and want a better understanding of what we're doing. This is not a signal service. It's crazy. People still join. They're like, oh, this isn't like just only signals. And I'm like, yeah, I tell you every day in my videos. If you are looking and you're just a beginner, go to our website, hover over home, and go to education. This is 100% free, and this will get you going. And this isn't just like copy and paste. We're writing this every single day, or every week at the very least, to get you prepared on different articles and how we look at these so you can understand how we're trading. This is 100% free. So again, until you understand the basics, don't even consider joining Discord. That's that next step. One more thing though is we are having a decent sale right now, a pretty big sale, and it's only available till 7 p.m. Central, I believe. So if you don't, I'll have to post this video a little bit earlier. But again, so you can see, we posted this a little bit on Twitter earlier, so everyone got the code a little bit early. Code is July 4, all caps July, then 4. You're going to get 50% off annual and quarterly, just to let you know. That ends at 7 o'clock. That'll be over. We weren't planning on doing this. It's kind of spur of the moment, but yep, so there it is. Congratulations. Let's get back to the video. Now, again, I'm not making outlandish remarks, outlandish views, or outlandish targets. This is just my opinion and how we're moving forward here. I think it's also very important. People keep asking me, is it too late to grab this? Is it too late to grab that? If you think it's too late to grab something, it usually is, right? There was a reason we were making all of our purchases on, like, the Nasdaq and, Qs. Where were we buying? Where were we getting in? It was down here at like 357. That was our entry point. We're not looking to enter as many trades up at highs. So make sure you're understanding like what's happening there, right? That's kind of my focus when it comes to trading, is putting myself in a position to win, and giving myself, the best opportunity to make money. The best opportunity is not to buy high and sell low. That's not the best opportunity. It's to buy low and sell high. So understand that visual of where we're at. Now, we look at a few names that we traded on the day. Again, I've been saying Meta. This, again, was on Twitter. So if you're not following on Twitter, I don't really know what to tell you. I posted this on June 28th. You can see hit the ascending triangle. We actually came back down to 280, 281. So we got great entries. And then on the day, we ended up pushing into 298. So congratulations if you traded this name. Obviously made a giant bag. A lot of people made money on this one, so congratulations. But again, we're looking at names like AMD and these others, right? So we were buying these names at lows of 107, 110. They pushed up to 118, 117. You were getting a pullback, so you might have an opportunity. But my appetite for risk here isn't as high as it was when we were down here when the Nasdaq was, clearly in pain, right? So that's where I'm looking at these trades and opportunities, right? Same thing with Google. Everyone's like asking about Google. It's like I was buying at 116, 117, and we're back at 122. Right, we reclaim 122, we're in business. But overall, that's the plan. It's to buy when other people are fearful, right? Everyone was making videos, we're dumping, we're going here, going there. It's like I was looking for opportunities, and I was also expressing them here on YouTube. And that makes me even more frustrated when people say, hey, is it too late to get this? I'm like, guys, I told you when I got in for free here, right? I don't hide my plays always behind Discord. Half the time they're either in my live voice, because every day we're live here at 10:30 a.m. Central. I post them on Twitter. Post them, in comments, things that I'm looking at. A lot of time they're free. So you just have to be paying attention. But again, if you want to understand the mentality, obviously Discord might be the better path for you. So, as we move forward, Tesla's been a really big conversation here as well. We go into Tesla, and I started trading this throughout the day as well, giving you a little bit of a visual here. I do want to pop this up so you can see, into the end of the day, what I was looking at, around 154, you had that pennant forming out here on Tesla. By the end of the day, confirmations over 183 or 283. You did a push into 283.5 here near the end of the day. You go back in this trade and you kind of end the day pushing back down. So these are just trades that I can like slowly, easily mention, but I still like Tesla. I still think there's a lot of room for upside. Again, I've given you guys like the long rant on why I think Tesla is so bullish. Next target on 288, 289, but the path to 300 looks highly likely, especially if the Nasdaq can continue what it's doing here and continue this, area of strength. The biggest area, though, that I want to leave you with before I let you out of here, videos have been kind of shorter lately, just a lot less to cover, is ES. And ES is at a very big inflection point, this 4,500 level. I'm going to tell you right now, 4,550, I keep saying it, this is the level I believe if we break above 4,550 on ES, I believe we're going to make all-time highs. But 4,500 is that starting point. It reminds me a lot of 4,200 and how we kind of reacted there, or maybe even 4,100. So again, the daily candles we're getting here aren't necessarily bad, but we're definitely, having a fight here to try to get back above these key levels. But I do think Fed minutes getting, past us, it was a step in the right direction. The last thing I'm going to talk about are going to be some of the fundamental things here as well. DXY still here in a descending triangle, very weak. You're at the top of that level. We've been rejected once, twice, three, and going on 4 times here now. Next up is oil. Oil's getting a bounce. It's bouncing with the Nasdaq and the ES. But again, you're riding the 200 SMA. Again, if it loses the 200 SMA, I think there's a lot of weakness here. Oil and energy commodities look very weak to me. You saw gold also get a little bit of a bounce, into the end of last week, dropping back down. A lot of weakness there as well. We continue to see yields climb, the 2, 5, 10, 30. Your 10 and 30-year inversion are completed again at 1% fully. Okay, these are signs of concern, and I keep saying these are the only signs of concern for me, are the 10 and 30-year inversion and the 2-year being so high. But I will say, I think we're still only trending up because the idea of a rate hike continuing. Okay, if inflation data continues to drop, this is different than it was in 2022 and how we were looking at this, because inflation was climbing. Well, inflation now is dropping and rates and yields are still going up. So I think we have to take a little bit of a pause and not get trapped in any plays here, especially trying to short while we're clearly in a bull trend to the upside. So just understand that, and that's what I'm looking at there. If you have questions, comment down below. Shorter video today. Have a good one, traders.